I have several Go projects today, so I want to get an early start before it gets too awful hot outside. So I hope you have a wonderful day. Here we are, getting ready to enter into July, and it is a good day to be with you. We are in Hebrews chapter 2, and we're going to be sharing from verse 10 through to the end of the chapter. We just finished last week with this idea that that the writer tells us we do not see everything in our lives right now subjected to Jesus. They will all be subjected to Jesus. We just don't see it right now, but we do see Jesus. And now he's going to talk for a little while about what it is that we see when we look at Jesus. And he battles against the first century heresy of Docetism and Gnosticism. Those were the two first heresies. One said Jesus was all spirit, the other said Jesus was all body and no spirit, and both of them are wrong. And Paul calls it a mystery that he is, the Trinity is a mystery. He is the Son, he has a body, and he had a soul. And so he had all of these things in God fashion. So now he's going to tell us a little bit about the human side of Jesus, the flesh. It's really, really cool the way that he does this. So this is Hebrews chapter 2, verse 10 to the end of the chapter. In bringing many sons and daughters to glory, it was fitting that God, for whom and through whom everything exists, should make the pioneer of their salvation perfect through what he suffered. Both the one who makes people holy and those who are made holy are of the same family. So Jesus is not ashamed to call them brothers and sisters. He says, I will declare your name to my brothers and sisters in the assembly. I will sing your praises. And again, I will put my trust in him. And again, he says, here I am, and the children God has given me. Since the children have flesh and blood, he too shared in their humanity, so that by his death he might break the power of him who holds the power of death, that is, the devil, and free those who all their lives were held in slavery by their fear of death. For surely it is not angels he helps, but Abraham's descendants. For this reason, he has to be made like them, fully human in every way, in order that he might become a merciful and faithful high priest in service to God, and that he might make atonement for the sins of the people. Because he himself suffered when he was tempted, he is able to help those who are being tempted. And so the writer makes the argument that one of the reasons that for the incarnation is for God to be made flesh, and the purpose of that is so that there can be in the Trinity there can be a full comprehension of the things that you and I experience in our lives. That he became fully human. He was. It was not like he was supernaturally human. He wasn't like a superhero. He was human. And so he had a beating heart. He had emotions. He had an intellect. He had relationships. He understood love and abandonment. He understood loneliness and rejection. And he understood physical and emotional suffering. And those are really, really important for us to know that he knows how we feel. That's the point of this passage, is Jesus knows how we feel. No matter what it is that we're going through, he knows exactly how we feel. And he came to this world so that he could experience those feelings, those sorrows, those joys, so that he could have all of the highs and all of the lows, so that he could fully comprehend and thereby fully and completely understand and forgive and experience life with us as we experience. And that's really important for us to understand that he's not we don't worship a distant God, a God who is far away. We worship a God who is very near, very close. We don't worship a God who doesn't understand us because he's never been through the things that we've been through. No, Jesus fully understands. And he did this, and he supports us and encourages us and calls out our name because we're part of his family. And as part of his family, he wanted to come and support and strengthen and encourage us. He's not someone who abandons his family. That's not who Jesus is. And so you and I, we have someone whose heart is always ready to understand and support us as we come into his presence. And so I'm going to read just this last little bit, because of all the things that we've learned in Hebrew so far, this is probably one of the more important ones for me to in my daily life, to understand that Jesus really does understand me. So this is the last sentence of this second chapter. He himself suffered when he was tempted, and he is able to help those who are being tempted. He not only experienced real abandonment, but he's experienced the temptation when he was alone, the temptation to say, why is this as fair? Why me and not them? He experienced all of those temptations, but he sinned not. He trusted in the plan, and he knew the divine plan, and he trusted in the plan. And so here's the thing for you and me. We can be tempted in many, many different ways, but we also know the divine plan. We know the will that God has for us. His will is that he would bring his children into glory. That, as the writer says, Jesus came and conquered death and experienced in that the victory over the one who used to have control over death. That is the devil. And the devil no longer has control over my death. No, Jesus has seized control, not only of my life, but of my eternity. And he did this by coming here, experiencing everything that you and I experience, the good, the bad, the middle, all of it, the ups and downs, so that he could have a victory, a full and complete victory that was filled with understanding and compassion, filled with, I know what you're going through. And so he could fully forgive us and accept us. And that is really glorious. And so I pray that today you have a full and complete understanding that Jesus has walked in your steps. He knows how you feel. He knows what it means to be alone. He knows what it means to long for relationship if you don't have one. And he wants to fulfill and satisfy that. He understands everything about our lives. And that makes him a very glorious Savior. And so you have a great day. And I know for certain that Christ is with you.